name's Barbara Gray from Claritystamp here in the UK, and welcome to YouTube Tuesday. Today I thought we'd play with some double-sided tape. Now I did do a YouTube a while ago, and if I just show you this, you'll see on this particular occasion, if we flip to the back, you'll see it's stamped on the front, and I use Gilding flakes are fantastic with double-sided adhesive. So you'll see here all I did was scribe out and punch a hole, and that's the way we created the landscape in the background on the double-sided adhesive. This is really nice. So I thought today we'd try something different, which again we're going to be stamping, but we're going to be colouring in. So you can see here we're going to be actually colouring in on the adhesive. So let's have a look at what we need and what we're going to do. The first thing we need is a permanent ink pad. Now I'm going to suggest here that we use a black archival or a Radiance. That will work really well. We're going to use Gilding flakes. Now I've got Silvery Moon and Large Gold here because of course it can be plain because I'm going to be applying colour. Then we've also got a selection of alcohol pens. I'm using Pro markers. Copics will work beautifully. There is Spectrum Noir. There are so many different alcohol pens on the market. I use Pro markers. So the first thing we're going to do is, and I'll probably need a good pair of tweezers to pick at the Gilding flakes. So I should take a sheet of double-sided adhesive and I'm going to cut it in half because I want to stamp on it with my beautiful Rennie Mackintosh stamp. You'll see this is just a fantastic stamp, and more will be revealed. There is a whole collection of these. I'm going to use the rose one here. This Art Nouveau. This was designed by our Jim in the office. And you'll see here, I only need half a piece, don't I? So I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to use one of our rulers and the glass mat. I'm going to stand to do this. One of the great things about this ruler, I've got the groovy grip on it. I'll do another video showing you the merits of the groovy grip on our ruler, but for now, just rest assured that as soon as you apply pressure, it doesn't move. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that in half, and there's no sliding around. All right, we'll go again. So I'm just going to cut that in half, and then we're ready to go. I'm going to use a mat underneath to stamp on as well. And the first thing I'm going to do, for example, is make sure that my stamp fits beautifully. And then I'm going to peel off the Clarity wax paper. It's a ghost in the corner. Behave. And then I'm just going to ink up my stamp. So I'm going to use a Radiance blackout stamp. It's really good for this particular job. It's a permanent ink pad like archival, and I'm just going to take the ink pad to the stamp and then gently lower the inky stamp down onto the adhesive. So just hover with the handle until you're happy with the position, and then press in the center, and you're stamping directly onto the sticky side, so you can see that. So we'll do that, and then when we've got that and we know that that's going to be a good impression, then we'll just peel this off, and it's absolutely perfect. Look at that. It doesn't get better than that, guys. Okay, and then I've also got the words best wishes that I'm going to put in here. Now this is a little bit more challenging, but I reckon we'll give it a go. So this time what I want to do is ink up the stamp. There is a tendency on adhesive sheets to slide when you're stamping. Not so much with huge stamps, but with a small stamp like this, it's more likely that I'll slide. So I'm going to blot it first. And what I'll find is that will give me more traction on the double-sided sheet. Then I'm going to hover over the top. Excuse my head here while I do this. And then I'm just going to pop my words into there. And then I'll press gently there, and that should sit in there beautifully. There you go. That's perfect. So you can see now, let me just leave that like that because it's sticky. That works really well, doesn't it? So the next thing I want to do, the ink is on this side. So what I need now is a piece let me put the lid on the ink, otherwise I know what's going to happen before it's even occurred. And what I'm going to do now is take a piece of acetate, because I'm going to protect this. So to do this, let's have a look. We just want to set this down on here. My suggestion would be that you drop it down. We can always trim it back afterwards. We'll just drop it into the center like that and then let it roll out. And then if you like, if you've got a brayer handy, another use for a brayer, just roll over there and you can hear the air bubbles squishing out. So now our ink is protected, isn't it? So when I turn that over, I'm actually going to leave this on there so I can work. I've got something to hold on to. I can always cut it off afterwards if I want to use it. So the next thing I want to do is peel this off like so. Right. And now this is sticky, isn't it? So let's take a piece of copy paper so we can see what we're doing, because now we're going to start colouring in. I think I should sit for this one. And I'm going to use my pro markers. So let's play it safe and start with a lighter pink. Yeah, this one's called Antique Pink. See, I'm happy to hold that because then I don't have to hold the adhesive. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply colour directly like this to the back of the adhesive. And I'm simply going to colour in my rose. And is this going to affect the stickiness? Actually, no, it's not. So you can see, let me just show you, just add a little bit of colour and round you go. Let me take another colour and then I'm going to leave you to go and put the kettle on while I colour in. But for example, if I want to do a leaf, I can take my greens and it's so easy to do. This really is not challenging. I'm going to do pink on there. If I wanted to do the border, I can run my green along there. It doesn't hurt the pen at all. It runs, it's like silk. There you go. So you go and put the kettle on and I'll just finish doing this. I take mine strong with milk. Tea, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so we've added a little bit of colour. That didn't take 2 minutes really. And you can see from the front, provided we don't drop it down, you can see that we've got some nice random, and I like it because it's a little bit gritty, it's a little bit distressed. So what we're going to do now is, provided that that's dry, it'll give it a couple of minutes to dry, and then what we'll do is we'll add the gilding flakes over the top. So I think I'll take my black mat out and I'll just start adding some gilding flakes. And you'll see I've got some gold and silver in there, and I'm just going to just add it lightly, a little bit of silver here and a little bit of gold there. It's random now. I'm not too concerned about exactly where it's going to be. In the other, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you, in the other video, what I did was I was very careful to cut out certain pieces of the tape at the back. And what that did was it just exposed certain areas. So in other words, if you just, sorry to interrupt what I'm doing here, but you can see I just put only gold in that area and only gold in the moon. But on this one, I'm just going for it. I'm just putting everything down. Just be mindful of the fact that the adhesive is adhesive. That is what it is. It is sticky. And we're just going to gently tap. Oh, try not to blow too hard. There we go. Don't sneeze when you're doing this, or you will experience something you could experience in no other way. Right, let's just add this now. And then we'll just smooth it over. Tap it down. There we go. It will catch as you go. It sticks because it's sticky. Okay, just tap that round. How's your tea? A bit cold already. Okay, right, so we'll just do this And then once we've got enough down there, we know that we've covered up all the adhesive, I reckon, we're going to use, we're going to start removing the excess gilding flakes. So let's just do this. And what we've done is we've covered, and you'll see that the ink isn't really affecting it at all. All right. There'll be a couple of little areas where it doesn't stick, where I've over-egged it, but do you know what? This is art. Right, let me just put that to one side. And what we're going to do is just funnel our, cool, it does get, doesn't it? Just funnel that back in there. Waste not, want not. I'll just pop the lid on there. And then what we're going to do is just polish the back. So I'll just polish the back. I don't bother saving this. This is like the dregs, isn't it? I'm not going to pop that back in there because I think that's a waste. There we go. Okay. And when we turn it over, we just get rid of this excess here. Right. Okay, I'll sort that out later. But when we turn it over, just get rid of the excess. You'll see now, if I mount this on a piece of black, for example, or put it on a black card, you can see how that comes to life. And let me just grab a piece of black card. I know I've got some in here. There we go. Didn't want to use my mat, used my mat, regretting it now. Okay, but you can see now how it sits on there perfectly. Make sure that you clean it well before you put it on the black card. Can we rewind that, guys? Thank you very much. Right. Well, you know what they say. You're supposed to get messy if you're getting arty. So here we go. We're getting messy. Right. Now we've got that. So we've got our black card. We're going to mount that on there. And again, if I may just show you, I'm going to take my cutting mat. Let's just, the job's worth doing. It's worth doing properly. Let's take our ruler, our Perga ruler, and let's take our craft mat. And again, because it doesn't slide and it's got a steel inlay, these Pergamano rulers are pretty cool as well. And then you can just cut right back to the edge. There we go. And we're going to lose that piece of acetate. I think that was it actually. Oh no, there's another bit on there as well. Okay. And that's all we've got to do. Just trim that back like so. Hold it tight. And then you'll get a nice crisp edge as well. Actually, I probably want to do all four. But for today, that will do. You get the picture. You get the picture. And you see how you can now colour in specific stamps on double-sided tape. So I think that's very cool. And don't forget to check back on that one as well. And I hope you enjoyed that. If you like what you see here, then follow our YouTube and subscribe or leave a comment. And if you'd like to see any special offers, then head on over to our website, www.claritystamp.com. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye now.